There comes a time in every man's life when he looks around and realizes he's surrounded, but not supported. There are people everywhere. Faces, friends, followers. But how many of them actually want to see you win? You're on Human OS. Let's begin. That's where Rule 3 from Jordan Peterson's 12 Rules for Life cuts deep. Make friends with people who want the best for you. It sounds simple. It's not. When you're young, friendship feels like loyalty. Whoever stays the longest wins. But when you start to grow, you realize it's not about time. It's about direction. Some people are walking beside you, and others are holding you in place because they're scared you'll move ahead. You can feel it, that subtle tension when you talk about a dream, and someone laughs it off or changes the subject. They don't have to say they're jealous. You just know. And deep down, you start shrinking yourself to make them comfortable. You hide your progress. You tone down your excitement because you don't want to lose them. But here's the truth. If you have to play small to keep someone close, you've already lost something far more important. Yourself. I've had friends like that. The kind who only called when they needed something. The kind who disappeared when I succeeded. The kind who only felt comfortable when I was struggling. And I kept them around because I didn't want to be alone. It took me years to understand that loneliness with the wrong people hurts more than solitude with the right purpose. When you start building yourself, your discipline, your work, your identity, you naturally start losing people who don't want to build anything. That's not tragedy. That's filtration. And it's supposed to happen. The best friends aren't the ones who make you feel safe. They're the ones who make you feel capable. They push you. They call you out when you're lazy, and they don't let you drown in your excuses. Not because they're better than you, but because they want to see you at your best. Real friends don't get quieter when you rise. They clap louder. And when you find even one person like that, hold on, because a man alone can survive. But a man with the right brothers beside him can build empires. That brings us to Rule 5. Do not let your children do anything that makes you dislike them. You might hear that and think, I don't even have kids. Why does this matter? But this rule isn't only about parenting. It's about leadership, discipline, and self-respect. Every man has a child inside him. The impulsive part that wants comfort over growth, pleasure over purpose, distraction over discipline. And just like a real child, that side of you needs structure. If you don't set rules for him, he'll take over your life. You'll skip the gym just for today. You'll watch one more video, scroll one more hour. You'll tell yourself, I deserve a break, until breaks become your identity. And then, one day, you wake up and realize you've been raising a man-child inside your own skin. That's what Peterson means. If you allow behavior that makes you lose respect for yourself, you're creating chaos, not just around you, but within you. And chaos grows quietly. You don't notice it at first. The unmade bed, the missed call, the unfinished project. Then suddenly, your life starts to feel heavier, not because it's full, but because it's unkept. I used to think discipline was about control, about being harsh, about self-denial, but it's not. Discipline is about respect. It's about saying to yourself, I care enough about my future to act with order today. It's the same energy that a strong father gives to his son. He doesn't let him do everything he wants, not because he's cruel, but because he loves him enough to say no. That no creates structure. That structure builds character. And that character carries you when motivation fails. Think about it. Most of the things that make us proud later in life, waking up early, training when it's hard, being reliable, keeping promises, none of them come from comfort. They come from doing what we didn't feel like doing. And that's the paradox of manhood. You become free the moment you accept responsibility. Freedom without discipline is chaos. Discipline without love is tyranny. Balance both, and you become a man others can trust. And more importantly, one you can trust yourself. Then comes Rule 6. Set your house in perfect order before you criticize the world. If there's one thing our generation has mastered, it's complaining. We're surrounded by noise, outrage, blame, resentment. Everyone's pointing fingers at everyone else. The government, society, the system, the economy. And sure, maybe the world's unfair. But the question is your room clean? Because it's easy to talk about how broken everything is. It's harder to open your closet and face the chaos you've built yourself. Peterson isn't saying, don't care about the world. He's saying, earn the right to care. Earn it by putting your own life in order first. I remember when I hit my lowest point. Nothing felt stable. My work, my relationships, even my health. And I kept telling myself, everything's against me. But then I looked around. My room was a mess. I hadn't cleaned it in weeks. My routine was chaos. My phone was full of distractions. And I realized I wasn't a victim of the world. I was a victim of my own neglect. So I started small, made my bed, cleaned my desk, fixed the broken lamp, paid my overdue bill. Nothing dramatic, just one thing at a time. And something strange happened. The world didn't change, but my relationship with it did. Because order is contagious. When you start putting one thing in place, you begin to believe that everything can be put in place. It's not about being perfect. It's about proving to yourself that you can create structure out of chaos. That belief, that's power. That's the foundation of every man who stands tall in a collapsing world. And once your house is in order, you realize something even deeper. Most of your anger wasn't about the world at all. It was about your own lack of control. And once you take that control back, you stop being bitter. You start being useful. You start to understand that life isn't about changing the world with words. It's about changing yourself with actions. Because that's how every world actually changes, one man at a time. When you connect these 3 rules, you see the architecture of strength. Rule 3 teaches you who belongs beside you. Rule 5 teaches you how to rule yourself. Rule 6 teaches you where to begin. Together, they build a man who doesn't need saving, a man who brings stability wherever he stands. And that's what we're missing today. Not loud men, not perfect men, but grounded men. Men who live with order, discipline, and loyalty. Men who keep their word. Men who face pain without losing kindness. Men who don't hide behind excuses, trends, or blame. You don't become that kind of man by accident. You build him, one decision at a time. You build him when you walk away from weak company. You build him when you control your impulses. You build him when you clean the mess that no one else will. It's not about pride, it's about responsibility. Because when you carry yourself with order, you give everyone around you permission to rise too. And that's how leadership begins, not with power, but with example. So if you're listening right now, maybe your life feels messy. Maybe you've lost some direction, or you're surrounded by people who pull you down. Start where you are. Find one thing in your world that you can fix today. Then fix it. Find one person who makes you want to grow and get closer to them. And when that voice inside you says, it's not enough, tell it. Maybe not, but it's a start. Because it always starts small, with a clean room, a clear goal, and a straight back. You don't need to save the world. Just stand up in yours. And when you do, the rest will follow. Subscribe to stay up to date with new videos where we'll share other Jordan Peterson rules. Human OS. See you soon.